All right, good morning. Happy Saturday and congratulations on $2 million in market cap. That's a big event. It's a big event, and then we sold off a little bit, which is predictable. But I'm glad you guys bought it right back up. I woke up this morning, I was like, I wonder how we did. It's great. We're going to go over a lot of new information today. I've been working hard in the background, and I've got some stuff that should get you excited. But before we jump into it, let me share a couple of things I've been thinking about. T.S. Eliot once said a long time ago that half of the harm in the world is caused by people who want to feel important. And I think that's definitely the truth. As we go forward from here, you need to know that I am aware and I'm being very careful about what we're doing. There's no room now for, we joke and we have fun, but there's no room to do this halfway. And if we do this the right way, we have an opportunity here to not only change locally the city that I'm in, but this same model could be applied just about anywhere in the United States. And when we're able to do so, the same model could be copied and pasted anywhere in the world, and maybe even with the same community. Right now, I don't know what the legal ramifications would be if we just went ahead and did this with an overseas outreach, but we're working on that in the background with legal, and I'll keep you up to date as the talks with attorneys progress. But you should know that I'm being careful. I'm aware of what we're doing in the background, and we're going to do this the right way from start to finish. On that topic, a reminder, if you have any amount of money in crypto that would make you feel sad to lose, if you clicked the wrong link, if your son hopped on your computer and clicked the sell button, if you lost a password, if anything weird happened and you lost that access to your crypto wallet, you should get a hardware wallet. It's like $160. Buy it from a known vendor on Amazon, get one, do some research, pick one that you think would work well with your wallet. Just get your security right. Take the time to learn about it. It can be a pain to set up and learn new technology, but it's definitely worth having the right security in place. And you don't want to be suddenly sitting on 5 or 6 figures in crypto and be afraid of what buttons you're clicking and not know how to use the technology attached to it. So go get a hardware wallet and get your security right. Also consider getting a dedicated laptop or a dedicated computer from which you do all of your crypto stuff and don't do anything else from it. Just a suggestion. Gerardo revamped our website. We're working out a couple of little bugs. There's a couple of broken links and some other things we're going to tweak, but take a second and go check it out. It's CVREcrypto.com. And we'd love your feedback on that. So if you run through it and you see things that you think that we should tweak or edit, shoot me a DM. And we want to make it effective and we want to make it attractive to people who have never had any exposure to our crypto community. So jump in there, review it, shoot us a message, and let us know what you think about it. We have a meme challenge going on right now, and we're giving away 21,000 CVRE. That meme challenge is going to run until noon Sunday Mountain Standard Time, which is about 27 hours from now, 26 hours from now. So if you can create a meme, good morning, Void, how are you? If you can create a meme, tag CVRE in the post that you put the meme in, and then tag other communities or tag RWA, whatever you want to increase scope and reach. We're going to run that contest through noon tomorrow, and we'd love your participation, and we'd love to give you some CVRE as a reward. So take the time to do that if you have a second. We'd love to see whatever you can come up with. Maybe we'll come up with some really good ideas. All right, now to the meat of what I want to talk about. So here's a scenario for you. Let's say that you live in a small to medium sized city and you are a small business owner. And let's say you are a manufacturer, you produce a product, and you started out in a small building producing whatever product. Let's say you produce a dairy product. Let's say you make ice cream. Okay. You make ice cream and you need some specialized equipment for this. And you started doing small distribution. And over 2 generations of this company staying in your family, eventually your ice cream production grew to the point where you had to increase the size of your commercial property. You've invested in more equipment, and now the footprint of your building is much larger, and you have a lot more specialized equipment, but it's still in the family. And it's a successful business. You're producing millions of dollars a year in revenue, and your real estate is also worth millions of dollars a year. But now your children and your grandchildren have aged. Maybe your grandchildren don't have an interest in continuing the family business. They're getting to the point where maybe they want to go do something else. And you've transferred a lot of the duties of running the business to executives who are now keeping the business the same size. But as you look around the country, you're realizing that there are much larger businesses in your category that are making it difficult to compete at the national level. This is especially true in certain categories of business like dairy. Uh, if you are sitting on a huge, expensive piece of real estate that you own personally, even though it's in an entity, your family owns it, how do you sell that very specialized piece of real estate? Well, you could try to find a local competitor in the same category, I guess, that needed the same equipment and the same size space and wanted to suddenly double capacity in the same city. That doesn't happen very often. And that would be a huge risk on their part to take on that additional capacity and invest that much more in real estate. What usually happens is the building is eventually retooled to be a different type of business, and the business changes hands and becomes a different type of business over a long period of time. And the real estate stays in the family and then eventually is redeveloped or sold off after a long period of time. What CVRE would allow that family to do is to sell or trade to get liquidity on that very specialized piece of real estate. And this is happening all over the country, all at the same time, especially in small and medium sized cities. There's these hyper specialized commercial properties and multifamily properties where it's very difficult because of the value of these properties for the owners to exit completely. But they may need a partial exit, but you can't. It's hard to partially exit a giant piece of real estate. You can go get lending, but rates right now are like, 7%, 8%. So here's what that local business owner could do. And this could happen within the next 3 to 6 months with us. And this is where it gets exciting. We're going to have this chunk of capital at the top of the bull cycle. And I don't know how large it's going to be. It's probably going to be pretty significant because I think that this is moving in the right direction. And I think everybody's realizing that this is happening the right way all at the same time. And so if it keeps going in this direction and we keep on having people catch the vision, I think it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy where we get a whole bunch of participation from the right people all at the same time. And everybody's incentivized in the right direction. So I'm excited. I think this could work. That business owner that owns the ice cream manufacturing commercial property, not the business, but the property, he comes to us in January of 2026 and he says, I don't really feel comfortable selling my $2 million commercial property to the DAO or transferring it in exchange for, tokens, or in exchange for whatever you guys can trade for it. But I would be willing to put up $250,000 worth of ownership in exchange for liquidity. And we could buy it, actually transfer tokens to a wallet that could be then sold on the open market if they chose to do so, or we could put them into a vault that would earn yield as part of the deal, where they were locked up over a period of time that they could earn token yield on. The owner could. Or we could even do something like this. Let's say that owner believed in the mission of CVRE and was watching this happen from the sidelines. And they said to themselves, wait a second. I'm looking at an asset right now that has 105, 110 participants. There's 100,000 in liquidity that they're trading on. It's worth about $2 million. If I bought 10% of this token, and then later on in the cycle, after appreciation, I onboarded $250,000 of my real estate as a contribution to the DAO, it would be like an ownership trade where I was already an owner of the token. I might actually come out on top in that trade. Like that would actually be something that could happen as a result of the natural appreciation of the token and the transaction of the DAO swapping tokens or purchasing a portion of the property in exchange at the top. Very interesting. That's just one example of something that we could do at the top of the bull cycle that would provide liquidity on a piece of real estate. That would be such a natural win-win for a business owner on the outside who owns a piece of property and is looking at this going, oh, this actually does make sense. This could work. The other thing that I see happening here is if this bull market really is short, let's say we've only got 6 to 9 months, we can have all of this architecture in place probably within 60 to 90 days. I'm going to throw some more money at it. We're going to create the software and the architecture. If it's ready to go within 60 to 90 days, in theory, I know myself, I personally could probably onboard somewhere between $20 and $30 million worth of real estate before the end of the year. That's just me. Just me. If this idea took hold as something that made sense to other people and we could demonstrate how the infrastructure was secure and how it worked, I think that there's a whole bunch of people within 1 degree of separation of me who would also bring potential real estate deals. And where this gets really interesting is, in order for this to be viable, I am going to have to decentralize control away from myself. So we're currently brainstorming ideas on how I can take my ownership and reward participants or transfer ownership in exchange for collateralizing outside assets or for rewarding token holders for performing things that would show loyalty or support to the token holder community. So look for this as we progress through the bull market. This is going at lightning speed. We're moving as fast as we possibly can because we've got this window of time, and the opportunity is now to do it. If we have proof of concept with the first couple of properties that we onboard, I think then we've probably only got 4 months to onboard a handful of additional properties. And then we're right back into a potential bear market where we're getting ready for the next cycle. And that's when the outside property really matters. That's when outside rents, outside valuations, and the collateralization between the token holder community and outside real estate really makes a difference and could potentially support token price. Okay. Question I got asked yesterday. Okay. Let's say an outside real estate owner just heard what I said and was like, okay, so let's say I want to sell or contribute a $250,000 ownership piece of a multifamily or a commercial building to the DAO, either in exchange for tokens that would essentially be a sale, or because I want to contribute to the mission and I think I'm going to benefit in some way, either from a tax standpoint or some other way. What if the idea doesn't work? How do I secure my property? What would happen if everything fell apart? There's a way that we can actually write into the contract that if there's a dissolution, the ownership would transfer back to you. So there is a way to unravel the ownership of the DAO so that property transfers would go back to the individuals that were the original owners of the property. So in my case, if I was to collateralize, $1.2 to $2 million worth of outside property into the DAO, one of my first questions is, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, how am I going to get that property value back? We would just transfer ownership back. It would just unravel and we'd transfer it back. Again, this is set up with contracts. This would be done by a professional attorney team. And there are a whole bunch of questions that I can answer for you privately if you reach out to me. So a lot of exciting stuff happening in the background. If you are an outside property owner, business owner, and you have an opportunity, think about, how do I get myself in a position where I could benefit by the obvious opportunity of token appreciation over the next 4 to 9 months? 2, if you own property that is either producing rents or is going to have a liquidity event in the next 1 to 2 years, there may be an opportunity for us to make a deal with you because we will have capital to expend. And I need to find ways to use that capital to benefit the token holder community before the end of the bull cycle in ways that make sense to the token holder community and to you. So let's talk about that now, because we don't have a lot of time to make that happen. Finally, start thinking about, okay, if you token holders were to participate potentially in some outside real estate deal and you were earning tokens as yield, what would that percentage yield look like and what would get you excited? If rents, revenues, refinance money was to come back into CVRE, the speculative asset, or was paid predictably in the form of yield as tokens back to like a vault where your tokens were committed, what would get you excited for that commitment? Think about that. We'd like some feedback on that also. These deals are coming, and they're coming fast. And the architecture is going to take some time to build, and I've got to spend some money on it. So there's some deals to be made here. If you are interested in participating in any of that, or you want to participate in helping me build that architecture, fund that architecture, assist in the process, or have ideas about what it should look like, I'm definitely open to feedback and want to hear more from you. In the meantime, let's keep this thing rolling. What else have I got to tell you? Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. I don't know how much of this thing I'm going to end up owning at the end, but I'm okay if you guys end up owning the majority of it. So let's do this. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.